Welcome. It is October 8th. It's October 8th. It's October 8th. It's a Tuesday, which means we've got new books to look at. We've got about 20 new books to look at. We've got another six tomorrow. So we're still over 2 dozen books. The big issue, of course, we'll talk about that in a minute. But the big issue, of course, is that I was closed Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday last week. So we didn't sell tons of books. So we still have a lot of books. A lot of people who came on Friday bought old books. It's something that I talked about here on Sunday. Yesterday's live stream was much more. Hey Dave. Yesterday's live stream was much more baby centric. It's pretty much all Marguerite. We talked about on Sunday. It doesn't matter how good the books are if I just don't have enough customers coming in to buy them. So I will give you the warning that there's something like probably 60 new graphic novels, manga, trade paperbacks out this week, and we're gonna have like 26. Hey Mark, how's it traveling? Right, you traveling this week? Or is that next week? I'm completely. I went to. Joe, look, we got a whole crowd. Dave, Mark, Joe, look at this. Yesterday was not our weirdest episode. Yeah, I thought you're probably right. As I said it, I'm like, we've done weirder stuff. You want to give some examples, Joe? I'm welcome to hear it. You got back for instance Sunday. Excellent. Yeah, my whole time frame is I was walking past the dry cleaners where we had left something, not for the holiday, but we left something else for the holiday, and we left something, and I said, oh, I'll go tomorrow because they said Wednesday. They said Wednesday last week. So yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, I'm really feeling that squeeze of there's all this great stuff coming out, but there's just not enough people coming in. And I actually had a weird interaction today about that. I was talking to a customer who just gets back issues. He buys, sells, trades. He used to work at a comic shop, but he's not regularly here. He comes in every once in a while, and as happened yesterday he brought me about 20 books, did a little trade-in, and used up all of his trading credit. So he came back today with like 500 books to trade in. We've got those over here, actually. They're nicely alphabetized and organized, so I'm going to leave them here to let people have a chance to go through them before we move them all into the back. But he asked, he's the guy who, oh yeah, 500. He's the guy who brought in toys last year. We had a whole display case for his toys. And he said, do you want to do that again this year? So I didn't say, my dude, we barely sold any of your freaking toys. I didn't say that. I made the mistake. He was saying it like, you don't want that anyway. You don't want me to bring my toys in here. I made the mistake of saying, well, yeah, I don't even know how business is going to be doing. We're really not doing. He looked at me like, really? Like, you're not doing well? So you can't sell my toys because you're not doing well? It was kind of like, if you're doing okay, what does that have to do with selling my toys? And it was more like, I said, well, I'm going to actually be doing some sales in November to clear space. I don't want to move other stuff in here. But yeah, it's an interesting situation with him. With him last year, you remember we had a whole case of his toys and they barely moved, and not dealing with that. Like I said, November, especially if you're local, definitely worth coming out here in November. We're going to be doing different sales every week in November. I keep mentioning it, even though I say that I'm really not going to talk about it until the last week in October, because frankly, I'm flipping out. We are closed so many days. I thought, gotta clear space for them toys. Yeah, that's why we're clearing the space. I thought that the person I was going to discuss watching the shop, opening the shop days that I'm not here, was back from his vacation today. I was wrong. He's back on the 10th. Thursday, so it's a little bit tougher to get a conversation going with him and have him come out here, and I don't know, so we're still up in the air on that. Like I said, really cut our ordering this week. I have a bunch of single issues coming out that are awesome. Last week I had a bunch of single issues come out that are awesome, but we were closed a bunch of days, so they're all piled up onto each other. Tomorrow we're going to look at the new single issues. Hopefully they'll be organized in a way that won't impact the space, but we'll see. It's getting worrisome. But let's look at the new single issue, the new graphic novels first. First one is a restock that I posted yesterday. Restock of Look Back by Totsuka Fujimoto. They just adapted it into a film. Beautiful, beautiful tale. Ghibliverse, the Studio Ghibli films. This is, we had Ghibliotheque, which is the same people doing each movie. This is their more in-depth book about more than just the movies. We've got The Anxiety Club, beautiful book out of France about different people suffering different kinds of anxiety and the way they deal with it. Adrift on a Painted Sea, wonderful British comic creator Tim Bird combines with, I think it was his mother, his paintings to recount his childhood times traveling with her. Really beautiful Alec piece. The second Asgardians book, the great George O'Connor, who did the Olympians, is now doing the Asgardians. Yeah, I think they went for that intentionally. The Anxiety Club looking like the Breakfast Club in their logo. Excuse me. My whole family's been trading this cough back and forth. Much like the Olympian series, each book in the Asgardians deals with a specific Norse god and adds layers onto the previous gods by how they interact. So the first one was Odin, which we have in stock, and then Thor, his most famous son. Honestly, one could argue Heimdall, whatever. All right. Aristotle graphic biography. Tassos Aspidolius and Alekos Papadodis, who did Logic comic. I butchered those Greek names. It's a wonderful comic about logic and the birth of it amongst the early philosophers. Does an entire graphic biography about Aristotle and everything we know about his history and how he came to be the thinker he is. Eric Droker's Naked City. It's a beautiful graphic novel. Art and the creation of art. Unfortunately, one copy. Tons of these books. I've only one copy of Aristotle, one copy of Adrift on a Painted Sea, one copy of Anxiety Club. That's it. You get one chance at these books and then they're going to be gone, and I probably will not be restocking them before the holidays. Some books we got a few copies of, like The Worst Journey in the World. This sounded amazing. This is based on the journals of Cherry Garand, who traveled in 1910 with the Terra Nova to explore the Southern Ocean, and just really ended up being an incredible disaster. No horrific deaths and mutilations, but just everything that could go wrong on a voyage went wrong, and it became a famous book about everything going wrong. Juna, Life of Juna Barnes, another beautiful biography book. Again, just one copy in stock. Into the Odd Contrast is a new book by Trevor Noah, and illustrated by the wonderful Sabina Hahn. Trevor's childhood and the thoughts and make-believe of it inform this book heavily. Look at this beautiful watercolored art. Very much about exclusion and inclusion. Ninja Sarotabe Sasuke! This is one of the earliest samurai manga ever made. Translated into English completely for the first time, of course, by the great Ryan Hallberg, and put out by the New York Review of Comics. A real classic from, I believe, the late 60s, maybe early 70s. But wacky, fun mix of samurai and Western, Western meaning cowboys, not American as Western stuff. Like I said, never translated into English before, maybe in bits, but never completely. Really insane. Again, one copy. One copy. Yep, Trevor Noah, the TV host and stand-up comic from South Africa, Mark. It's not biographical. It's not biographical. What a day I'm having. It's not biographic, but it's heavily informed, like I said, by his life. We've got I Can Count to 10 by Roman Dirge, a very messed up counting book. Not for children, obviously. by the author of Lenore. Under Ninja, Volume 4, I Can't Refuse S, Volume 4, the sadomasochist sex book. Opposites Attract, the romance with doggies. Number 2, Trillion Game. A really intense... oh yeah, I love the drawings by Roman Dirsch. They're just really disturbing sometimes. Comey Can't Communicate, Volume 31. Spider-Man Octo Girl, number 1. This is a continuation of the... Well, not really the character, because it's a different character, but it's the world they created in the Deadpool Samurai series, where they showed different versions of Marvel characters. Got the go-ahead for them to give their Sakura Spider, the character from that, her own villain, and to tell the villain story here, Octo Girl, a middle school girl who gets Dr. Octopus arms and becomes the enemy, or maybe mistaken for an enemy by Sakura Spider. All right, Joe, thank you. Help clear out the space. Katie the Cat Sitter! Katie the Cat Sitter was one of our best sellers of the last year because we had Colleen Venable here for Free Comic Book Day. We got all 3 of the volumes, and little by little we've been selling them. They actually sell more at the Cat Cafe. Down at the Cat Cafe, we left 10 copies of each book, and they're down to almost nothing left. Katie the Cat Sitter, definitely one of our better movers. So that now has a 4th volume. If you don't know the world of Katie the Cat Sitter, Katie cat sits for her neighbor, who is actually basically Catwoman, who's trained her 100 cats each to do different jobs. With her help, she and Katie uncover that the regular hero is really the big superhero of their town, is actually doing things to help his company that he's a secret billionaire for do better. It's a great little satire, while also being a fun book about Katie and her friends learning to trust each other and rely on each other. This is one of the books that I really want to talk about. This is called Destroy All Humans. They Can't Be Regenerated. And it is a Magic the Gathering manga. Now here's what I know what you're all thinking. You're going, a Magic the Gathering manga? And it's plastic wrapped? That is a little whoa. But if I'm right, and I believe I was, I remember this, listen, I believe there is a unique Magic the Gathering card in this manga. I believe that you can get, with this manga, you get to get a Magic the Gathering card that is only from this thing. Like I said, it's about the 90s and playing Magic the Gathering. I'm very much looking forward to reading it. And those are all our new books. I said there's another 6 or so tomorrow. Thank you, Joe, for taking I Can Count to 10 and getting us one less one-copy book out there. It's really frustrating because there's another like 10 books that I would love to have in the shop right now. Wonderful, great graphic novels. I don't even think there's a chance I'll sell them this month with how much we're closed, let alone today. So that's the case with all my ordering. I did a lot of ordering on Sunday, and there's a lot of great books that I just didn't order. Some of them are out in March next year. I don't know if we'll be here in March next year, but even more than that, even if I was, who's coming in? You see anyone here? I said this to the guy who did the trade-in, who was talking about his toys. I said, I don't really have a lot of customers here. No one, the Magic thing? I think the Magic thing's a one-off. Oh no, I'm sorry. It's a series. My mistake. It's probably finished in Japan, Joe. If you want to look it up online, it probably tells you how many chapters there are, how many volumes there are. But it's definitely a series. I said we don't really have that many customers. We're kind of like not doing well. And he goes, "Oh, why is that?" And I'm like, "The whole town is." And he looked at me like, "Is the whole town? Is it really? Or is it just you?" And I'm like, he's like, "The parking lot's packed." And I said, "The parking lot's always packed. People work here." I said, maybe it's, I speak to the other people in town and they're all saying, oh yeah, there's a lot less people. Oh yeah, there's a lot less people. All right, you're taking one of the Magic ones? All right. If you get a good card, you owe me. Yeah, and I just kind of, I wasn't like insulted or angry at him, but I was kind of taken aback. Like, what does it matter? What does it matter if it's me or if it's everyone? There was just a study that was released that said, I forgot who it was, I think it was a Pew study, that Americans are homebodies now, that the percentage of Americans who regularly go out every day has like shrunk. And then I think then there was other follow-up questions about like how would you like to do X, Y, and Z? And like a lot of answers, no. People don't go out. People don't travel. If we had every single item that we have here in the store up on our website, easy to click, easy to order, easy to get, I don't think we'd increase our sales more than 10%. If we put out a call, we actively said, oh my God, guys, we really need you to buy books. Yeah, it would be better because there's that on the website. But no rush, Mark. You don't come here until we know where we're going election-wise, okay? I don't want anyone getting stuck in this country when they suddenly close all the airports because El Dictator took over or whatever. Sorry. We don't have enough random internet people coming on here. I feel like I can say things like that. But yeah, it's definitely, it's rough on a Tuesday when I'm counting out books and dealing with stuff, especially on a short Tuesday. No, what's interesting is I just had a kid come in here. Like I said, whole family sharing a cough. I had a guy in here early today who was like blown away by what we had. He was like, I didn't know what to expect, but you have such amazing graphic novels. And he bought 2. He was like really, there's some really interesting randos on this. He was really excited about the shop. He's like, I'm definitely going to be back. I'm definitely going to be here. But like, that's great. I'm happy for that guy. I had 2 regulars who almost always browse. One of them was like, no, I want to buy something today. And that's great. But I also had 2 regulars who never buy anything, come in and look around. And I have a lot of that. And I'm at the point where I want to say to those people, just so you know, we might not be here for you to do that if you keep that up. Anyway, I'm going to head out. Someone's going to pick up their books, and I will show you all the new single issues tomorrow. Until then, remember, damn it, babies, you got to be kind.